my friends, we can go on with unit second, hard times, okay? There's a listening part. Can you listen it now and then we can go on?
Track 1.13.
Events that shook the world. The Great Fire of London. The event that changed the face of 17th century London forever. It was 1 a.m. on Sunday the 2nd of September 1666. London was sleeping. In a small bakery in Pudding Lane, Thomas Fariner and his workers were busily making bread for the coming day, when suddenly a fire broke out. Just 4 days later, thousands of houses had been destroyed and countless people were homeless. How did this happen? And why was the damage so extensive? For a fire to start, 3 things are needed: a spark, fuel, and oxygen. In the bakery in Pudding Lane, a maid didn't tend to the ovens properly. They got too hot, and sparks began to fly. The weather that year had been extremely hot. It hadn't rained for months, but people knew winter was coming, so they'd stocked their cupboards with food and oil. Warehouses were full of wood, coal, and other winter supplies. A strong wind was blowing from the east. The situation provided the perfect conditions for flames to spread quickly. What followed was one of the biggest disasters of the 17th century world. The fire spread quickly, but it was also extremely difficult to fight. It started in a poor area of the city, where houses were built very close to one another. Tens of thousands of people were living in very small spaces. A simple house was often home to many families, as well as lodgers. As the catastrophe struck, people panicked. Some had to smash their doors to get out of their homes. The streets were blocked with people and with material that had fallen from houses. Many people had grabbed their most important possessions and were trying to flee from the flames with them. They screamed in terror and suffered from the heat and the smoke. Some escaped from the city on boats. Others simply dived into the river to save themselves. The fire had been raging for almost 4 days when the Duke of York put a plan into action. His soldiers demolished a large warehouse full of paper. This robbed the fire of more fuel and created a fire break that the flames could not jump over. At about this time, the wind also changed direction, driving the fire back into itself. At last, the flames died down enough to be controlled. The fire was finished. Although surprisingly few people lost their lives, at least 13,000 houses, 80% of the city's buildings, had been destroyed. Thousands of people had become homeless and had lost everything they owned. Gradually, houses were rebuilt in the ruins, but this took several years. Many Londoners moved away from their city and never returned.
Yes, it finished, and we can answer some question here. Look at here. In what year did it happen? You can look from your book and you can find, I think. Yes. In what year did it happen? Yes, it happened in 1666. How did it start? How did it start? Yes, I think you can find from the paragraph. It started when an oven in a bakery got too hot. It started when an oven in a bakery got too hot. Yes. 3. How long did it last? How long did it last? It lasted for 4 days. It lasted for 4 days. For how did people get away? What does it mean get away? Go go away from the city. How did people get away? You can find from the paragraph. Yes. If you want you can stop the video and you can find the paragraph. You can find the answer of these questions. Yes. People escaped from the city on boats while others dived into the river. 5. How was the fire stopped? How was the fire stopped? Yes, the Duke of York stopped it by getting his soldiers to demolish a large warehouse full of pepper. The Duke of York stopped it by getting his soldiers to demolish a large warehouse full of pepper. Yes. What damage did it do? What damage did it do? Yes, it destroyed many houses and made many people homeless. Yes, I think it's enough for this lesson. See you the next lesson. Bye bye.